Gentlemen, what is happening? It's another Weekend Warrior edition. I'm out here on my decoy trailer. I was cleaning out some stuff, sat down for a Coke and a smile, and thought of a few things I wanted to share. So I'm going to title this one Hunting Hacks. It's not really hacks, it's just kind of some things I picked up along the way, seen from some other people, and I like knowing this stuff, so I just want to share it with you. And since this is my channel, I do what I freaking want to, right? This is America, land of the free, home of the brave. Yeah, so if this is your first time, welcome. My name's Steven. On this channel, I talk about duck hunting and stuff like that. You should probably go watch a few other of my videos so you get a general idea of the thing. So anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing, maybe, if you want to. If you like to kill ducks, it's not scientifically proven, but it's almost there that if you subscribe to my channel, you'll shoot more ducks this duck season. So, bold statement, I know, but, you know, just try it. And if you don't, you can unsubscribe later. See what I did there? All right, so let's get into it. Number one, this is my blind bag, as you guys know if you watched the last video. But one of the things I've noticed is whenever you get out and you're working, you're pulling, you know, hauling decoys around, dragging sleds, things like that. Oftentimes, if it's cold outside and I'm wearing gloves, my hands begin to sweat, and so that makes my gloves wet, which is not good. They're not good for the rest of the day, basically, until I can warm them up. So, what I've actually done is I have clipped on some of these work gloves, just put like a little key ring on there, and then just clipped them onto my blind bag. So whenever I'm putting out decoys, whenever I'm dragging sleds, whenever I'm grassing layout blinds, doing all the things pre-hunting I need to do, or God forbid it's cold and wet and you're working on a frozen trailer hitch, something like that, these things come in super handy. There's some basic work gloves you can pick up at Lowe's, or the link in my description, and you can have some of these. I just click them onto my blind bag because it's easier versus sticking them inside where I have my others inside. So there's one. Also, if you watch my video on blind bag essentials, blind bags and my evolution of blind bags, whatever, I talked about spent shell holes. So like I got 320 gauge shot shells in here, whatever. That's the last gun I shot. So one of the things I do is I keep some shell holes in my blind bag for litter. So I normally try to pick up my shell holes like everybody does, especially if you're hunting public land. But they don't always make it, you know, they'll go in a sled, they go in a boat, whatever. Like I don't keep them with me or have them with me. If ever there was a case I were stopped by a game warden and they asked, I just carry a few in there just for peace of mind should I get checked. You know, I got 3, 4, some of them, you know, try to keep one per duck. Just throw them in my blind bag in case I'm asked. Number two is not really a hack, but it's something I stumbled across. So these are Wranglers, Wrangler jeans, Wranglers. They're the ATG version, but I found myself, when it's been really cold, I've bought some pants, or let's see, let me back up. So SITKA has what's called some Dakota pants that are fleece lined. They're crazy expensive. I think like 200 bucks. Anyway, I picked up a couple over the last couple years, so I've got like 2, but they're fleece lined. Some of you northerner guys probably know all about this, but us southern guys, we don't wear a lot of these, but they're like 40 bucks, and they're fleece lined. If you wear them in summer or spring, you will sweat your nuts off, assuming you have those. If not, ladies, you'll just be hot. Yeah, these things have become super handy. So I put on some base layers for moisture management, some of these, and then some bibs or waders or whatever. They're awesome. So you can check these out as opposed to buying a super expensive alternative. Number 3 is PEX pipe for your sled line. So I put this over here. Hope you guys can see it. But this is an old sled I have. Most guys will just do the rope. Okay, I started putting PEX. This one's a little bit too long. If you do it a little shorter, my other sleds behind me have the shorter one, but you got 2 guys, it works well. Here's some pictures of some guys pulling them. but if you put the PEX on there, it's really strong. It doesn't really freeze, and when you're pulling it, it doesn't, especially if you got a lot, it doesn't make the line across your hand near as bad as just the rope does. I just put a little bit of PEX on there again. I try to go shorter for one person, because you put too much, it bends. But then again, this sled actually has a hole in it that I can't seem to repair, so this is kind of like a field sled, which helps if you got two guys pulling it, or you put it on the ball of a four-wheeler or side by side or whatever, and it's, you know, it's all good. Or you can slide it down, whatever. So I incorporate some PEX on my sleds, PEX. You can check it out at your local hardware store. Yeah, so the next one is something I've seen some of my buddies do. I'm normally running a camera, so I don't really do this, but it has to do with jerk strings. Everyone should always have a jerk string at all times. Always hunt with one. I think they make everything better. This is the one from Lifetime or Heyday, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. This is the one I normally use, which is actually really cool. It's the one I use, but for these guys that I hunt timber with a lot, they put out a really long one. They actually use one of these things. So what they'll do is I put a bungee in here to show you guys an example. They will take a really long piece of rope, they'll run it, they'll tie it into one or two of these, they'll take these hooks off and they'll just tie knots in them or whatever, put one or two of these on there, basically a big piece of a big bungee, and then they have an actual boat anchor, and then they'll actually run that in the woods, and it gets tons and tons and tons of movement. They tie the rope around the tree, they just let this thing float because they use floating rope, so it just kind of sits there next to the tree. Jerk strings tied around the tree, and you got a guy over there just pulling the rope. So Bills, if you're watching this, you're the best jerk string guy I know. Keep it up, my friend. There was another hack I wanted to show you, but I can't find it. So one of the things I've done for run and gun stuff is basically take a piece of bungee cord, small bungee cord, and then I put it on an old fishing reel. So I took some braid, like 80-pound braid, put a swivel, like a snap swivel in it. It's just the reel. Tied a snap swivel on the end, reeled it all the way up. Then I carry a small piece of like bungee, and then I can hook it on a mojo pole, or one of these little small canoe weights that you can pick up at the store, or a link in the description. One of these little canoe weights. So this is one of my buddies, but this is a small little thing that he'd keep in his blind bag. I think I picked it up, somehow got stuck in my stuff in his boat. Anyway, but I would take a fishing reel and do the same thing just with braid, and it's super duper small. You can just push the button, you know, put it in your blind bag. You know, I wear gloves, pulling the braid, yanking on the braid. But that's kind of like, if we don't have anything else, we need to put something out. That's my super small run and gun deal. So like one of my old fishing reels. So I use that. And then the last one is a heater. So I basically take a piece of paracord, so Mr. Buddy heater, I take a piece of paracord and I wrap it around the handle, and then it's hooked on 2 carabiners and it hangs on my tree strap. Take the tree strap, hook it on there, you got your heater, everything's good, it travels well. You don't have to worry about, I've seen some guys put the screws, holes in the tree, and then, you know, hang the heater on it. That's fine. This one you can actually raise it or lower it based on what you want to do with the paracord. But anyway, I thought that might be some helpful info. Yeah, I feel like I struggled on this video. Sometimes that's how it goes. I'll catch you guys in the next one.